Hi, everybody. This is Lee at Fresh Astrology, and we're talking about how you are the zodiac, you are the solar system, and in this instance, you are Mercury. So, this is a part of a discussion I'm having with my community here on YouTube, trying to try on this concept that maybe the planets aren't there acting as puppeteers, pulling strings and making you do this or that, forcing you into situations you don't want to be in, basically acting like bullies. That maybe it's not like that. Maybe astrology isn't like that at all. Maybe astrology is more like this. Maybe there's a type of energy flow that comes from each planet, or as a result of each planet being where it is, that it alters the energy that moves in and around us, and that you're born with all the energy. You're born with the energy of the entire solar system flowing through you. And when you look at a chart, you're actually looking at not just the sun and the moon, not just your sun sign, you're looking at all the planets and the sun and the moon and other things as well. And you're looking at all the zodiac signs. All of the zodiac signs are in your chart. So even though your sun may be located in Gemini, you actually have all the other zodiac signs in your chart. So the sun may be in one place. So you focus on Gemini maybe, but you're everything else as well, but just in different ways. And it's like that with the planets too. So in this instance, we're talking about Mercury. So I'd invite you to just kind of try it on, like, a new coat or something. Like, what if you're Mercury? What if you actually are Mercury? What if all of us are embodying Mercury and the energy and the qualities of Mercury? My dog decided to come through the room at that. It's funny when they decide to be active. I haven't discovered his sign yet. I'm about to get paperwork on him. So maybe he's Mercury. I don't know. Maybe he's a Gemini or a Virgo. I think what kind of personality I think he has. Not sure. He's brand new. But anyway, you are Mercury and possibly my dog, but we're all Mercury. From the time we were born, we have Mercury somewhere in our chart. That means we're beaming in Mercury energy is just flowing through us at all times. And all the qualities, all the high part of Mercury, the low part of Mercury, all the different expressions of Mercury. So what is Mercury? Mercury is how you think. Mercury is how you speak. Mercury is how you communicate. Mercury is how you learn. Saturn is also about how you learn, but it's a slightly different meaning. But Mercury is how you absorb information. So Saturn's, are you a good student? Are you are you a good listener? Are you paying attention? Saturn's more like sitting in a classroom kind of learning. Mercury's more like your brain being a sponge and soaking up, how you soak up information. And, it says a lot about you and your culture, because we soak up when we're babies and we're born into a certain culture, a certain religion, a certain family. We're soaking it all up, soaking. That's Mercury. So Mercury is how we absorb all the data that we're born into and that we're growing up in, and how do we make sense of it? And then within the system of people that we're born into, how do we communicate and interrelate? And then how do we think about all that? How do we form thoughts? That's Mercury. So we embody that. It may be actually easiest for people to understand that Mercury energy flows through them because humans, especially in Western culture, are so attached to our brain activity. We're so attached to our communication, especially now in the age of data and communication. It may be easiest for people to see how Mercury flows through them. as opposed to Neptune or Pluto or Uranus. Maybe it's easier for people to relate to the Mercury. I don't know. But as I describe it, I'm thinking maybe, you tell me, is it easier to imagine Mercury flowing through you? But Mercury will be in a certain house in your chart when you're born. It'll be in a certain zodiac sign. Those will be clues as to how you can easiest get at your Mercury energy. But it doesn't diminish your Mercury energy. The same amount of Mercury energy is flowing through every single person on the planet. Like nobody has less or more or better Mercury energy. It's just flowing through us at all times. But they're clues as to how we can best use Mercury and where kind of our superpower is with Mercury if we look at our chart. We can also look at where Mercury is currently to get like a current. Maybe there's like kind of this week, there's like this one place Mercury is. It's another clue as to how we could use Mercury in any given moment. My dog is really loving the Mercury talk. It's funny because this dog will sleep pretty much all day long, but suddenly very active. So I always take that seriously when my animals start changing their behavior. I think, what are they trying to say? So I'm curious about this dog's astrology sign. I'm going to find out soon. So anyway, how does it feel? Like how does that sit with you, this idea that you are Mercury? Can you believe that? Can you buy into that? Or does it feel hard for you? But even if it feels hard for you and you have a hard time buying into that, I invite you just to play a game of it. Like, what if you were Mercury? What would that be like if you were invested with all the powers of Mercury and had all the strength of communication, the intellect, the intelligence, the communication abilities? What would that mean for you if you knew that you had that kind of glorious power as a thinker, as a communicator? Would that change how you think about yourself? I'm guessing it would, at least a little. So play around with the idea. You are Mercury. All right. Take care, guys.